Bring your vehicle and your Kelley Blue Book instant cash offer to Denny Menholt Toyota and get cash or trade-in credit today. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The Philadelphia Eagles are planning to celebrate their Super Bowl victory over the Kansas City Chiefs with the parade on Valentine's Day on Friday. Luka Doncic is expected to make his Lakers debut today against the Utah Jazz. LeBron James, who missed Saturday's game with ankle soreness, has also been upgraded to probable. Dallas Mavericks star Kyrie Irving has replaced Anthony Davis in the 2025 NBA All-Star Game. It will be his 9th All-Star appearance, while Hawks star Trae Young will be replacing the injured Giannis Antetokounmpo for the game on Sunday. Tiger Woods announced on social media that he won't in fact play in this week's Genesis Invitational because he's still processing his mother's death. In his statement, he says that he planned to play but just isn't ready. In the AP Top 25 poll for men's college basketball, Auburn stays in at number 1 despite losing to now number 3 Florida. UCLA stays number 1 in women's basketball while South Carolina fell from 2 to 4. I'm Monty Bolaños.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in on a Super Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. What was going on this weekend? Anything popping at all? Let's go. Let's get ready to rock and roll on this Monday. Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is back. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We are live. 2 hours, thought-provoking sports talk. Great guests across the board. Super Bowl reaction and more. Question of the day on the Super Bowl. Question of the day on a Super Bowl commercial that is actually something to think about. Yes, something real to think about, not just to complain about. Let's get after this today. It's always a great day in South Dakota, even with snow and cold temps. Remember that as we lock into February. The Nate Brown Show ready to go, and glad you're part of the program. Let's look at the Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight to get going on a Monday, brought to you by Forever Lawn. They have their own best lineup of artificial grass here in South Dakota, ready to install on both sides of the state, across the state, wherever you're listening to this program from. It's Forever Lawn of South Dakota, featuring landscape grass, canine grass, golf greens, sports grass, excellent turf. It's the best of the best. To get started, Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. Take a look for yourself. Would this work at your house, playground, turf field, golf greens? Take a look. Get on their schedule for the spring and summer. They're putting it together for 2025. Get on their schedule. Forever Lawn in South Dakota. Google them to learn more. The Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight on this Monday. Here we go. John Stiglmeier's going to drop by, former Jacks head coach. We know John so well. I thought, why not get Coach Stig on tonight to get his reaction to his player, Dallas Goedert, winning a Super Bowl. That was great to see. The Britton Heckler guy who had no offers. I mean, people were like, well, I guess you can try it. And that's how this goes. Sometimes you find these guys, and Dallas Goedert's career at SDSU was great, and then he's been maybe one of the undervalued tight ends in this league. I mean, I feel like the Eagles kind of just get all bunched together. Well, great O-line, huge O-line, great defense, and then they have these players that are really, really good, and they're like, yeah, I guess they're pretty good. Dallas Goedert's one of them. He's like been an outstanding tight end. How about the kid from Britton Heckler and the Jack winning a Super Bowl? We'll talk to John Stiglmeier about that and more. Get his thoughts on FCS football, the new coach Dan Jackson, of the whole thing. So Coach Stig on the way tonight from Brookings. We will get live reaction from Jerry Brewer. He covered the Super Bowl yesterday. National sports writer for the Washington Post. He was there in the pressers last night and the whole thing. He's back in and ready tonight. Jerry Brewer on Washington Post. David LeVake's coming up from the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. He's been covering this new high school sport in Minnesota, and it deals with what we kind of saw last night. I want to get where this is actually at in the neighboring state of Minnesota in this high school sport. David LeVake, high school sports writer for the Star-Tribune. He's coming up. And Brian Noe with instant reaction, not only on the game, but 2025 start of the season. Where are we really at? Aaron Rodgers, who should take him? The whole thing. Brian Noe's on tonight. Countdown to kickoff host from Fox Sports Radio. Great Monday show. A lot to hit. Local, regional, national. Let's get you on if you want in. 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch studio hotline. 605-720-1067. Also the Barron's Wilson text line open and ready. 605-720-1067. All right? Already getting texts on the Barron's Wilson text line, and that's great. Keep them coming. 605-720-1067. Listener text. So are you happy that your ex-Broncos coach Fangio absolutely demolished Mahomes? Well, I mean, I think you could say I'm happy. But here's the thing. I got to be honest with you guys today. If you listened to the show last week, what did I say? I said I was thinking about taking $8,000 out of the bank. $8,000 and going with the Eagles. And what do I have to show for it today? I was going to go to the BetMGM Sportsbook. I was going to light the lamp. And what do I have to show for it today? So you could say I'm happy. I am happy. But I was thinking, what would I have done with that $8,000 that I won last night? But I talked to my wife about it, too. And here's the thing. Now she's mad both ways. She was going to be mad if I took the $8,000 out and lost. Like she was like, that would have been the end. And then she's mad that I didn't win the $8,000 last night in the blowout win. And I told her, I said, the Eagles were going to win this thing. All right, I'm out. That's it. We're okay. It's just a normal Monday in the Brown household. Now, let's get to the real take of the day. Okay? Real take of the day. 5 biggest takeaways from Super Bowl 59. Can I do this? I mean, I want to do something a little bit different. People are talking about Mahomes' legacy, and people are saying Jalen Hurts, and they're breaking down the game. I don't need to break down the game. I'm not going to break down the game. I'm going to give you my 5 biggest takeaways from Super Bowl 59. And then I am going to ask you a question of the day, so you can hit me on the Barron's Wilson text line today, 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line. Do you believe the Chiefs' dominant run is over? That's my flamethrower, hot take central question of the day on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Be fair, be reasonable. That's all we do on this show. Fair and reasonable. Do you believe the Chiefs' dominant run is over? Yes, they're on the downturn, or no, they're going to stay right at the top. That's what I want to know on my question of the day. for you, okay? Let's send me in your answers. I want to get the feel and the pulse of Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. Okay, 5 biggest takeaways. I'm going to go with one, and a couple of these are serious, a couple of these are funny, but they're real takeaways for me from last night. One is this. I think Nick Sirianni, honestly, to me, is one of the most disrespected coaches in the NFL. And I say that because we get these narratives going in media today. Whatever the media narrative is, and it's just hit over our head constantly, 24/7, social media, debate shows, everybody. Nick Sirianni's goofy. Nick Sirianni doesn't know what he's doing. Nick Sirianni's got a mess on his hands with all these personalities. We just get this media narrative going. I couldn't tell you if Nick Sirianni's great or not. I never had the hot take of like, Nick Sirianni is just bad. How do we even say that? I don't even know where this stuff comes from. But it's been a total narrative on Nick Sirianni that he's not good enough, and that totally swayed people's opinions of Nick Sirianni. And when I look at it, actually, I stopped last night and I said, he's been to 2 Super Bowls, and he's been to the playoffs every year he's been coaching. So I don't care if you have a good, talented roster or not. There's a lot of talented rosters that are a mess. I mean, the coaches matter. So I think we got to get rid of the Nick Sirianni narrative here that whatever you think he is, because it's interesting. We crown other coaches like other young guys, other offensive guys. We crown them. Kyle Shanahan, we crown him. Sean McVay, we crown him. I mean, these guys are, we think, the best of the best. And Sirianni's got 2 Super Bowl appearances and a Super Bowl win, but we don't crown him. We joke him, right? We yank his chain. And we think, oh, well, he's just, the Eagles won in spite of Nick Sirianni. Give me a break. So I think that media narrative has been really, really tough on Nick Sirianni. I don't know why. I mean, maybe he's a little cocky. He spouts off to opposing crowds. Whatever it is, it kind of reminds me of the Dan Campbell thing. Like Dan Campbell got made fun of by everybody, and everybody thought it was funny. He's goofy. He's just a bang his chest guy. Dan Campbell's had the Detroit Lions back in the mix that you've never even thought was possible with that organization. I know they've come up short, but this is the Lions. They had the best team all season long, practically. So everybody made fun of Dan Campbell. The narrative was he's just a meathead, let alone he leads the Lions to prominence, let alone Nick Sirianni leads the Eagles to 2 Super Bowls, and he's only been there 4 years. Give me a break. Okay, so he's got to be, I think Nick Sirianni has to be, for what he's done, the most disrespected coach in the league. Tell me who else it is for what he's done. Okay, there's one. I'll stay with the Eagles here. And I just love this story. This is my second takeaway from the Super Bowl. Not breaking down the game, but really the stories. Jalen Hurts' story is one that you all and myself should celebrate in today's sports culture. I mean, we should celebrate this guy. He was benched in the national championship for Alabama, benched at halftime. Tua thrown in. Tua wins the deal for Alabama. Jalen Hurts takes the high road. Humility. Compliments Tua on winning the title. Loves to be a part of the team. Has to even transfer to Oklahoma. Okay? Upends his career there. Gets into the NFL. People thought, the Eagles are going to reach on Jalen Hurts. He couldn't even start at Alabama. And they're going to reach on this guy. The guy never says anything negative. That's a rare thing in today's sports world with big stars, big egos. You got guys that always have to answer the critics. Have you ever seen Jalen Hurts say anything dumb? Say anything negative? He's been hammered, hit across the way. People still don't want to give him credit. He was really good 2 years ago. He was really good last night. 221, 72 yards on the ground. Give me a break. His accuracy was on the money. I don't know what else he has to do. Humility. Great leader, soft-spoken, professional, and he has to be the biggest story you would like when it's about me today. Jalen Hurts was a team guy from Alabama, even when he was benched, and still complimented his quarterback that replaced him. You don't see that in today's culture. You don't see. You see pouting. You see helmets being thrown. You see whatever else. And then it's always, if I make it to the top, now I spit in your face and I tell you about it. He didn't do it last night. So I love Jalen Hurts' story. He may not be the greatest of all time. I get it. The story is really, really good. A story of staying with it, staying dialed in, making sure you are humble and you keep working. By the way, couple here that I want to tell you about from the Super Bowl. This is me. I've been in broadcasting over 25 years, okay? Don't tell anybody. This is me, and Tom Brady, as a color man, I've watched him throughout the season. I don't think he's gotten better. I think he's missing things in the insight and preparation into the broadcast, not I'm going to tell stories about what I did. I had this guy. I had this game. I had this teammate. I would have done this. I remember this. That's all I get. Tom Brady wasn't ready for prime time. The Fox broadcast crew, to me, it's not even close to Tony Romo and Jim Nantz. It's not close to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I mean, it's just not. I'll take Tirico and Collinsworth. Honestly, even if you think Collinsworth's annoying, Tom's not ready. I mean, it's just about what I did. I remember this time and this great time and Bill Belichick this and that. We know that. We lived that for 20 years. I don't need to relive it. Tom Brady, I need analysis in the game. I need spontaneity. I want some of that. There's not much there. He's pretty scripted. He's pretty bland. Tom Brady, to me, I guess he's the number one guy on Fox. I don't think he's ready for primetime. I thought it was rough last night. By the way, speaking of something rough, here's my fourth take of the day, the Nate Brown Show Super Bowl takes. Can you call them hot takes or cold takes? You tell me. Here's the fourth one. This one's going to get you all fired up. You're going to get all fired up about this. The Super Bowl halftime show. You didn't want to hear about it, did you? Kendrick Lamar. I don't know Kendrick Lamar songs. I didn't even know who the halftime show was until I'm watching the game. Honestly, because I don't care. But by the way, you know one thing that I can be assured of every year? This is what I'm going to bet on now. Not the game anymore. This is what I'm going to bet on now. One thing I can be assured of. The Super Bowl halftime show will be over-emotional, over-analyzed. Everybody will go crazy, and that's a sure bet. No matter what. If it was Kendrick Lamar, complain. If it was Garth Brooks, complain. I mean, it's just something. It brings out everybody's social media split personalities, right? They lose their mind. Why do you care? Hey, by the way, you may care, but guess what? Here's the news today. Nobody cares what you think about the halftime show. That's just a PSA from me today. You may want to say what you say about the halftime show. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We're going to write a letter to Santa about the halftime show, okay? Nobody cares. And by the way, was it great? I mean, I don't know the songs. I know high school kids thought it was probably pretty good. High school kids probably thought it was good. It didn't fit right for me, but I sat there, and you know what I went and did? I went and got more wings. Okay? That's it. Last one. This is the big one. The last takeaway of the Super Bowl 59 for me. The invincibility of the Chiefs, I think, is gone. Oh, don't do that. Nate, don't overreact. Don't do the Broncos overreaction. No, what I'm telling you, we haven't seen them get blown away like that in the history of Patrick Mahomes. This wasn't just a Bengals beat them. It wasn't that. It was they got blown away. Yeah, I'm not saying it's tarnishing the legacy of Mahomes. Don't be dumb. Mahomes is still the man. Let's not go crazy. I'm saying the invincibility of the Chiefs, the aura, that's not going to be there, I don't think. The Broncos were already closing the gap. The Chargers closing the gap in the AFC West. AFC West is going to get better. I don't think the Chiefs are. They got beat down. Now they're beatable. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. I'm ready.
Good. Hey, so two things. Chiefs invulnerability thing. They got blown out by the Bucs a couple of years ago, so I don't know where the invincibility.
Not like that. No, not like that. Not like that.
Not like that for sure. But and I sent you a text about it. But it takes a really, really special defense to do what the Eagles just did. And I don't think there's maybe 3 teams in the NFL that can do that. You could take the game plan and be like, okay, here, we're going to do this. But if you don't have the guys to do it, the Chiefs are around for a while.
Here's the deal. I watched my Broncos do just that. They only gave up 14 points to the Chiefs at Arrowhead this year. That was it.
Yeah, and Denver's got a really good defense. They're one of the teams I'm talking about. So, but they have to figure out their offense. So the Eagles have both. That's the thing. There's plenty of good defenses around, but if you don't have an offense to match it and take advantage, you're toast.
So your answer is the Chiefs are still here to stay. I do not think so. I do not think so.
I think. Well, I don't know if they're going to go 14-1 or 15-1 or whatever they ended up going.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but I do think they're going to be contending for sure.
All right, brother.
But then with Tom Brady,
yes,
I get it, but you can't. It doesn't matter how much lipstick you put on a pig. A game like that has got to be hard to call.
Well, no, it does. It does. I know that for sure. You can't polish that elephant turd, right? I understand.
True story. But so it was a couple weeks ago, or in the middle of the season somewhere. I watched a game on Amazon, and Al Michaels was just "Sorry, guys, this game is terrible. I don't know what to tell you."
See, you have to be good. That's what I mean. You have to be good, and I don't think he is. No. That's just me. Yeah. I don't think he is.
Well, fair enough. Well, here's the Vikings winning in 2025, then, I guess.
Thank you.
So, right.
That's the second one today. That's the second Vikings message I got today. What is it with that? I got a text today. Go Vikings. That's all the text said today. This is the start of the season, right? Go Vikings. There's my 5 takeaways from the Super Bowl. Mahomes is still great. Don't go crazy, please. That's low-hanging fruit with people that are, Mahomes, I don't know about Mahomes. Mahomes is still great. Guess what? The O-line is the key. When Tom Brady had a good O-line, a solid O-line, he was unbelievable. Same thing with Mahomes. When the O-line's leaky, they face a good defensive front. That's it. It's not that big of a mystery. O-line was shaky at best. Mahomes was scattered. Brady had those games. I remember my Broncos beat Tom Brady in the AFC Divisional. Because of that, when Von Miller and the guys were putting pressure on him. That's what happens. People don't remember those games that Tom Brady lost. I do. All right. Jerry Brewer is going to get us going. He covered the game last night in New Orleans, national sports writer for the Washington Post. What's his take? Next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Race to savings on everything to upgrade your home at Menards. Easily create your dream kitchen with Clearview Cabinetry. With so many styles to choose from, you'll be sure to find plenty of options that you will love. Start your project today and save big on Clearview Cabinetry. Visit Menards.com to view our entire selection of Clearview cabinets today. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com and race to savings on great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
How do you make everyone's favorite buffet even better? How do you make the country's best chicken even more exciting? How do you make Thursday the best night ever? Wing night at Pizza Ranch. Boneless and traditional. A variety of sauces. All the wings you want, plus all your other buffet favorites. The country's best wing night is here. Taking flight Thursday nights on the buffet. Only at Pizza Ranch. Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank and Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance of snow tonight, otherwise overcast. Lows level off around 7 below. Winds out of the northeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Highs level off around 8 above. Tomorrow, chance for snow. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow night, lows around 7 below. A dusting of snow tonight through tomorrow. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 4 above.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Well, we're off and running tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show live. Stream us right now on X at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show and watch us live. Welcome in studio wherever you're at. Watch us on X at Nate Brown Show, streaming right now. Jerry Brewer covered the Super Bowl, one of many over his career. National sports writer for the Washington Post. He's in New Orleans. Find him at WashingtonPost.com. Coverage of the big game. I want to get his read on it. Jerry, welcome back in. How are you?
I'm doing great, Nate. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for the time, man. I know you've been busy down there. So you wrote a piece on this, and for the audience, we'll send them there, WashingtonPost.com. What's your biggest takeaway? I gave my 5 takeaways, but just what'd you learn? You know, you hear all the hot takes today, and Mahomes' legacy. I'm not going there. What was your takeaway from the Eagles last night?
That they, by the end of the year, they were by far the best team in the NFL. And I think pretty much there are other teams that, like, stylistically might have made a better fight and could have played them closer. But I think they were going to beat pretty much anyone in their path. I think the only team, as a matter of fact, that could have beaten the Eagles would have been the Detroit Lions if the Lions were healthy at full strength with Aiden Hutchinson and everyone. Short of that, I don't think anybody was going to beat them this year.
Okay, so you didn't mention anybody in AFC. You think it was the Lions. I want to ask you, what happened to the Chiefs? Did they get too pass-friendly too early?
Yeah, I think they got too pass-friendly too early. I mean, we're talking about a team that ran the ball 3 times for 3 yards in the first half, and then total for the entire game, they had 7 design runs, and I know they were behind, and most of those, like 4 runs in the second half, were really early on when they were trying to establish something. So they were just all out of sorts. I don't think the Chiefs were even as out of sorts in this game. I think they were more out of sorts in this game than they were during that 31-9 loss to Tampa Bay when they basically had no offensive linemen healthy, right? It was a really, I mean, from a Chiefs standpoint, a really concerning performance. Didn't see it coming. I mean, I think it was the Eagles at their absolute best and the Chiefs at their absolute worst.
I want to ask you about Nick Sirianni, because one of my takeaways, I was just thinking about this, like, Nick Sirianni's like a character. We have these narratives like some coaches are characters. Dan Campbell, macho meathead, he's not going to be an analytics. He's not going to be a good coach. And he's brought the Lions back. He's got a great roster. I get it. Philly's got a great roster. I understand. But Sirianni, nobody credits him. He's had 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years. He wins one. But we don't put him there with Kyle Shanahan even. What's the deal with Sirianni in the narrative?
Well, I mean, the narrative needs to change, right? I think he's as good as any coach below, like the sort of like elite level coach in the NFL. I mean, you talk about a hard Super Bowl to win. You have to beat Andy Reid when he's going for number 4 and going for a three-peat. Andy Reid definitely in the Hall of Fame, and you just think all that he's been able to do, winning 70% of his games, being in 2 Super Bowls already. I mean, you got to give the guy some props. He's more of a CEO coach in that I know he's got a background as an offensive coordinator, but it's not his offensive genius necessarily that's powering the team. I do think when you're around the Eagles, you're like, man, do these dudes even really like Sirianni, or do they just tolerate him? But thinking about it, though, Nate, like, I don't think that, like, with all the big personalities and the different kinds of personalities on that Philadelphia team, I don't think that there's any coach that they would like. Like, you wouldn't be doing your job as a coach if you were beloved. You'd probably be a 9-8 team. So there's some genius there. I think he's really good at allowing space for other people to be great. And he's really good at kind of being someone who will take the heat, even if it's on him, in order to create avenues for people to express themselves. I think it's a really important lesson, Nate. I think as we advance, you know, we always have these conversations, especially at the college level, like how do you get through to kids now? How, if you're not going to be able to be a dictator, a Bill Parcells type of coach, a Vince Lombardi type of coach, how in the world do you create structure and organization and not make it where the players are just running things without any guardrails? I think you have to look at a guy now like Nick Sirianni, and instead of saying, man, you're so different from what we expect in a coach, you need to be looking at him and saying, man, what's your secret? And I hope that's how the conversation shifts from, does this guy belong, to, let's figure out why this guy is such a good coach.
That's interesting. Great stuff. 2 Super Bowl appearances, now a win for Sirianni. He's been to the playoffs every year. He's been in the league. Jerry Brewer covering the Super Bowl. A couple more quick ones. WashingtonPost.com, national sports writer. So the Jalen Hurts story is interesting, too, because he's not valued as much as, you know, a quarterback that wins like him should be. So I guess he just gets devalued. Well, he's got a good O-line. He's got a good running back. He's got good wide receivers. What's the real Jalen Hurts evaluation?
He's a very good quarterback. We could even call him a great quarterback. He's always going to be. There are 4 elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now: Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. He's pushing himself into the conversation of maybe we should consider there being 5 elite quarterbacks. I'm not willing to go there, Nate. I mean, I have a great amount of respect for him and what he's done. I just think that an elite quarterback, even if you, like, strip the team of weapons, even if, like, the game is muddy around them, they can still find ways for their team to be successful. If you took away a lot from, if you gave Jalen Hurts the team that Patrick Mahomes has right now, they would really struggle. And if you gave Patrick Mahomes the team that Jalen Hurts has right now, I mean, it's hard to go better than like 3 losses and dominant in the playoffs, but they would function even better. They wouldn't be complaining about the issues in their passing game at times. So you do have to take that bit of nuance into account, and like everybody wants it to be made simple for them. It's not simple, and I think it's okay to say, this guy is a great quarterback. And at 26 years old with 2 Super Bowl appearances, a win, a Super Bowl MVP, a second place in regular season MVP, he's on a Hall of Fame track, and even on a better track than Russell Wilson was at age 26. And I think we can leave it there because there's a difference between, say, Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana. He's going to be more the Terry Bradshaw realm of Hall of Famer than the Joe Montana, Tom Brady realm of Hall of Famer, but that's okay. It's a big mansion that houses like a lot of great players, and I don't want to vault him into that conversation. I know he just beat Patrick. I know that he looked great for the second straight Super Bowl in front of Patrick. Patrick looked as bad as he has ever looked, but once again, like, you cannot redefine conversations based on one game as big as the Super Bowl is. And I don't want to have an attention bias. Like, I really want to fight against people who have this attention bias and just decide that in the game that they really paid attention to, they saw a change, and so our whole narrative or our whole perspective is wrong. This is just a data point, and let Mahomes, who's only 29, continue on for the rest of his career. Let Jalen Hurts, who is on a team that should make more Super Bowls and should win more Super Bowls, let's see how his journey goes, and then let's evaluate these guys when they're in their late 30s. Nobody wants to do that, but that's the only way you can be accurate about it.
Jerry Brewer on tonight from New Orleans, WashingtonPost.com for his coverage of the Super Bowl. Last one, Jerry, it was 40-6 last night until the couple of late touchdowns there. So it was 40-6. Is that a big deal? Is the gap closing, meaning the Chiefs' invincibility, to me, looks a little interesting? But what do you say?
Yeah, I don't think, Nate, I don't think they've been invincible throughout this entire run. I mean, you might say in this run of 3 straight that they've had, 3 straight Super Bowl appearances, like the first time, that was a dominant team. Patrick threw for 5,250 yards. He's the only player in NFL history to throw for 5,000 yards in the regular season and then win the Super Bowl. Like, let's keep that in mind. That reminds you of how, and this is a bonus in the case of Jalen Hurts, it reminds you, like, if you're too dependent on your quarterback, it's normally covering up something that's wrong, and the best teams that win are balanced teams. But let's go back to the original question. I've never seen a team with as great a reputation as the Chiefs lose in such a embarrassing fashion. And, yes, I believe that is an indicator. Last year, I think my postscript on the Chiefs is that they were like they were a year ago when they finished the regular season 11-6. They were an 11-6 team that went 15-2, not because of how great they were, but because of how ineffective and unable to win other teams were. So they just kind of outlasted, I think, some level of mediocrity in the NFL, and they were able to rely on just the institutional greatness that they have. But they were not a great 15-2 team. We saw it during the season, and I think it exposed itself in the Super Bowl. Where do they go from here? Like, naturally, I think life should get really hard for the Chiefs. We shouldn't be expecting them to go to AFC championship games, if not the Super Bowl, every single year of Patrick Mahomes' career. They got a lot of work to do. They got work to do on the offensive line, particularly a left tackle. I know they get Rashee Rice back, but they have work to do at wide receiver, particularly a speed guy who can run routes better than Xavier Worthy, who can take the top off of a defense. They have serious concerns about Travis Kelce, who will be 36 next year, and his regression as someone who can make chunk plays. They're a team that in a normal NFL should be about 10-7 next year, but let's see if the rest of the league is good enough to make it that hard on them.
Great stuff tonight. Jerry Brewer putting the cap on the Super Bowl from New Orleans for us. Great to have you as always, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, anytime, man.
Thanks a lot. Jerry Brewer, national sports writer, covering the Super Bowl live from New Orleans. WashingtonPost.com. National writer Jerry Brewer on tonight. Great analysis. That was better than Tom Brady. But anyway, John Stiegelmeier is next. The former Jacks head coach. What does he say about his guy? Dallas Goedert winning the Super Bowl and how that career started from Britton Heckler. John Stiegelmeier from Brookings on the way.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Anderson, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February's snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today, and please book your free estimate right now at RVARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Anderson.
Next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be. You want Honda True, and you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. Get to Shields. Shields. We're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
Glad to have you on board across South Dakota. Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Stream us all the time on X at Nate Brown Show. Watch the show live. Welcome in studio. Also on our YouTube channel. Subscribe. You've got the show there, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Just had Jerry Brewer on from the Super Bowl. Live coverage from the national writer for the Washington Post. He's covered a lot of Super Bowls. Good analysis from him. Brian Noe's on tap, taking a look at 2025 already in the NFL. Brian Noe, countdown to kickoff host from Fox Sports Radio, live straight ahead. I want to get a reaction here from South Dakota. I mean, we were rooting for Dallas Goedert, right? I mean, I know Chiefs fans are like, well, I don't know, maybe. Britton Heckler kid, South Dakota State kid, wins his Super Bowl title, the tight end for the Eagles. John Stiegelmeier coached him, of course, and he's on tonight, former Jacks head coach. Coach, good to have you back on. How are you?
I'm doing super, Nate. Like I told you in the text, I've kind of missed you. So I appreciate the time, and I appreciate the music, the Boston in the background. So
I love it. I love it. Well, that's saying something. If you miss me, that's saying something. I will tell you. By the way, I just want to get your reaction as you watch the Super Bowl. Coach, you're a college guy, and you've told me before you don't watch a ton of pro, but you're watching the Super Bowl. You're watching Dallas Goedert. Kind of how do you take all that in, knowing what you did and as you were around him those years?
Specifically, the game yesterday, last night was like a dad. You picture the parent of a kid in youth sports or high school sports. They don't go watch the play; they go watch their son, right? Yep. And so I'm watching Dallas. I'm watching them swipe across and try to block the D end. I'm watching them run the routes. Once in a while, I'm thinking like a dad, throw the ball to my guy, throw the ball to Dallas. But yeah, it's a lot of pride, a lot of joy, and just so happy for a guy that can live out his dream like Dallas is.
So it does change the way you watch the Super Bowl when you have a player like that in it.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, when I watch Christian Roseboom for the Rams, or Pierre Strong for the Browns, it's just totally different, And again, like you mentioned, and I don't mean this negatively, I'm not I live my life in college football, and my wife and she was married to college football and football for 45 years, so I'm not going to sit around Sunday and watch every NFL game. But boy, when I can get a game where one of our guys is on, how cool is that? And so I watched the individual.
Dallas Goedert winning a Super Bowl title. So I don't know if you've talked to him. He's probably been busy. Do you give him a little breathing room? What do you want to say to him?
I am giving him some breathing room. I thought about texting him last night, and then I thought, how many, maybe hundreds, literally hundreds of texts he got. I remember winning the national championship and trying to answer all those texts, and then I'd but I'd type in somebody that I want to communicate with, and there was a text that I didn't answer because it just got buried, and that that's a defense mechanism. But I'm going to text Dallas here in 3-4 days and just say, hey, proud of you, really proud of you. Enjoy.
Let's go back. John Stiegelmeier joins us on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Of course, former Jacks head football coach. When you go back to South Dakota, when you go back to Britton Heckler, there's not a lot of guys that were like, oh, we're going to bring in Dallas Goedert. He comes to South Dakota State. What did you see early in him? I know he grew, he developed strength and conditioning, all that stuff that happens with these guys. What did you see early in him?
Well, I want to go back to just a step earlier. We didn't know anything about him. All right, a pastor in Millbank who was a good friend of mine, Carl Larson, who had coached football, was a Lutheran pastor, was also helping with football. Said you got to look at this guy. So we got film, and literally I could not evaluate Dallas on the film. So I went to a basketball game, watched him play basketball. So back to your question, I mean, there was a lot of hoops to jump through, if you will, to say, Dallas, you want to be part of our team. And I think it's commonly known that he walked on here.
Yeah.
We offered him a walk-on. What did we see early? I saw a guy that had unbelievable athletic ability for his size. His hands are some of the best, if not the best, I've ever seen. But the thing that I think is so amazing about Dallas is he could be not paying attention on the sidelines, which he was known to do once in a while because he's a free spirit, and say, Dallas, get in there, call a play. And he made, in an instant, he would refocus and make the most amazing play you've ever seen. And that is a rare characteristic of an athlete.
Okay, I want to get your read on, you got 2 tight ends now. Tucker Kraft is really coming on for the Packers. Dallas Goedert, I think, has been underrated for the Eagles. How do you compare them?
I think here's how the Pro Scouts compared them. I'll do that. They talked about Tucker was really close to a complete tight end. And I asked them, what does that mean? And they said he's a really, really good blocker, like an offensive lineman, and he's a really good pass catcher, route runner, athlete as a receiver. Dallas is an exceptional route runner and receiver and hands and knowing where he's supposed to be in space. And I would say that he's an adequate blocker. And so each one has their gifts. But they also told me that it is rare to find. Nowadays, it's rare to find a complete tight end. Great in both of those things.
John Stiegelmeier joins us, former Jacks head football coach on the Nate Brown Show. Reaction to Dallas Goedert, former tight end for the Jacks. Britton Hekla, high school standout, and now a Super Bowl champion for the Eagles. So last one on Dallas, then I'll ask you about SDSU really quick. So what did you think separated him, I guess? You talk about his hands and his route running. Not all guys can be pros. They got to get there. Then you got to have the competitiveness, the whole thing. What do you think separated him to be where he's at now?
I think the desire to use every moment, the focus to use every moment, every opportunity he had to live that dream, to sign that contract, to make the team. And you're right. Let's not gloss over your statement that so few people, such a small percentage of guys that play college football, end up playing pro football. And I would like to think that the guys that we've raised, if you will, at SDSU, they know how important and how lucky they are, and they're not gonna squander a moment. I think that's it. I think if my mind is right, they had a pretty good tight end in Zach Ernst when he got there, and I think they ended up cutting him when Dallas kind of came into his own. And so another objective example of a guy that said, I'm going to do everything I can to keep playing this game.
Okay, let me ask you about South Dakota State. So much talk here over the last month, Coach, about the change. Jimmy Rogers to Washington State, Dan Jackson now stepping in. You have a history there. What's the qualities of Dan Jackson that you think going to make him a great head coach?
Dan is a great leader, and when I say great leader, he's a natural leader. He works at it, but it's natural to him. It's natural for him to stand in front of people. It's natural for him to meet boosters. He's just a natural in that position. I think also he's a visionary. I think he's not a guy that's going to just throw darts and hope he hits the right path. He's going to think it through. What do we need to do? What does SDSU football need to do? And he's got great support in terms of administration or from the president on down. And so he will be great. And here, as an assistant, he was one of the best recruiters I've ever seen. So as a head coach, you have a chance to recruit everybody to a certain degree. So he'll be great in that also.
Okay. Do you think this is the hardest chapter for SDSU football in quite some time? You had to go through building this. Is this the hardest chapter with the players that left and now starting a little bit over?
It's going to be maybe a little steeper climb, but excellence. Again, you used a term that everybody uses, but I don't think everybody really understands it to the depth. You build a football program. You build it year after year. So many guys, so many coaches, so many things. And so it has been built, and Jimmy did a great job of continuing it. And so maybe a little steeper because of those guys we lost. But, again, Dan's got some good transfers, which he had to do, and he's got a great nucleus of guys to rely on. He's got great coaches. So I don't think South Dakota State football is going to fall off the map, but it's going to be a little tougher, I think, because of the number of guys that had to be replaced.
John Stiegelmeier joining us tonight on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio. Really good to talk to you, Coach. Thanks for the perspective and time. Really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
You also, Nate. God bless you. Take care.
Thanks a lot. John Stiegelmeier tonight, former Jacks head coach, on Dallas Goedert winning a Super Bowl title. Boy, what a great line of Jacks players. What a great line you're seeing in the NFL. I don't know if a lot of people, you go all the way back to the D2 days, you didn't think that was coming, right? So what a deal for SDSU. And Dallas Goedert now, a Super Bowl champion out of Britton Hecla High School football. And now the Eagles tight end made some nice plays last night early on, right? Hit Dallas Goedert a couple of times. So he's been really, really good. Good stuff from John Stiegelmeier tonight, former Jacks head coach on the Nate Brown Show. Let's check in with our question of the day. Is the Chiefs' dominant run over? A huge question of the day. Where do you stand? Text us if you want, 605-720-1067 to sound off, 605-720-1067, the Barons-Wilson text line. We'll check in on the question of the day. Is the Chiefs' dominant run over? Next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Anderson, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February's snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today. And please book your free estimate right now at RVARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Anderson.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance of snow tonight, otherwise overcast. Lows level off around 7 below. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Highs level off around 8 above. Tomorrow, chance for snow. Partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow night, lows around 7 below. A dusting of snow tonight through tomorrow. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 4 above.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Laughing. Welcome back in The Nate Brown Show. We're having fun tonight, aren't we? Didn't you enjoy the halftime show? You enjoyed it. Don't be afraid. You know, I'm kidding. It's like everybody, I hated it. I liked it. I hated it. Well, the high schoolers liked it. The rest of the country hated it. Forget it. Nobody cares. We're going to complain about whoever it is. You know who Matt Kearney, the producer of The Nate Brown Show, wants to see? I walked into the office today. Matt Kearney said, couldn't we go back to Lady Gaga? And I spit out my drink. I spit my drink out. I mean, are you crazy? I don't know what the right choice is. Let's just get over it. South Dakota Sports Talk Show back. It's the last time we'll play that. It's okay. I know you're tired of it. Let's get into this. Question of the day. Do you believe the Chiefs' run is over? It's our real question of the day on the Nate Brown Show this Monday. Super Bowl reaction on Fox Sports Radio. Do you believe the Chiefs' run is over? Let's go to the text line, 605-720-1067. I have a personal text that came in from a family member. It's always dangerous, so I have to pre-read these. I had a personal text that came in from a family member. Yes, the Chiefs' run is over. It's obvious. Well, take that for what it's worth. Let's see here. The game was over before halftime. As long as they have Mahomes, though, the Chiefs will be fine. The Chiefs will be fine. I'm not talking about fine. I'm not talking about beating the Broncos. I'm talking about AFC Championships, Super Bowl. So I'm not talking about just making the playoffs like the Texans. That's fine. I'm talking about dominance. And I believe a loss like that, it's 40-6. It was over. It was done. And it was the worst I've seen in the Chiefs' history with Patrick Mahomes. No, it wasn't like the Buccaneers game. No, it wasn't even close to that. This thing was over. They didn't cross midfield to the fourth quarter. I mean, it's just unbelievable. That doesn't happen. So usually it's a year-to-year thing. In the NFL, it's a week-to-week thing. I understand. But Jerry Brewer made a comment, national sports writer tonight from the Washington Post. He said tonight on the show, I've never seen a team as good as the Chiefs, as excellent as they are organizationally, schemes, coaching, players, as good as they are, lose like that. And he said, that's a bad sign. Because when you faced a really good team, top to bottom, they couldn't even compete. It wasn't even competing. It was just demolished. So that's why I don't think it's hot take central to say, is the Chiefs' dominant run over? They might tweak this, tweak that. Kelsey's going downhill. We know that. Mahomes is still great. I'm not saying anything about that. The O-line, if you don't get it really, really good, that's a big problem. Their running game is not much. So there's things there. And their wide receivers couldn't get open outside of Xavier Worthy, the speed guy. Nobody could get open. People are wondering, Mahomes getting sacked 6 times. Nobody could get open. So that's our question of the day. Let's see here. Listener text, Reed and Kelsey should retire. Whoa, that's a tough one. Andy Reid and Travis Kelsey should retire. They both look too slow and confused. Ouch. That's tough. Let's see here. Is the Chiefs' dominant run over? Let's see. We got another one here. 605-720-1067. It takes a special team to execute the game plan that the Eagles implemented. Most teams can't do that, so the Chiefs are still here. They will be for a while. What do you think? The Chiefs' dominant run, is it over? Question of the day on the Nate Brown Show, 605-720-1067 on the text line. Here's the Twitter poll. 53% say yes, the Chiefs' dominant run is over. They're on the downturn. 47% no, they'll be right back in it. Almost split. My take is a guy that's watched the Chiefs a lot. I've watched them a lot. I've never seen them like that last night. And one bad game. No, it was historically bad. The worst of Patrick Mahomes' career, and the worst I've seen the Chiefs get their doors blown off since Patrick Mahomes has been there. It's interesting that Jerry Brewer said I've seen them. They're prepared. They're excellent. They're great, and I've never seen them like that. Get beat like that. That means something's wrong. We shall see. That's why we love it. 2025's coming up, and Brian Noe will give us his early read coming up. Fox Sports Radio national host joining us, Brian Noe on tap. First, I want to go into South Dakota sports. Hey, there was a commercial last night. I thought the commercials were in the words of Matt Kearney, just kind of But there was a commercial last night, and people kind of overreacted to it. I thought it was pretty good. And I found it to be informational. And then you look across this country, is this something that's going to catch on? Would it do that in South Dakota? Let's discuss next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Our locally owned Ace stores are committed to helping our neighbors and our communities. And because we're in the neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for whatever your home or yard needs. Choose from top brands like Milwaukee, Steel, Traeger, and Benjamin Moore. Then pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your home. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know how to help. See acehardware.com for details.
No one has a handbook for what we're living through today, which is why the experience you have access to makes all the difference in how you make it to tomorrow. For decades, Dakota Bank has worked with ag producers through industry, economic, and regional changes. We're committed to agriculture. We're committed to the producers and families that make our communities great. Go with commitment, experience, and integrity. Dakota Bank, banking, insurance, mortgage, and trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and trust not FDIC insured.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Find your fortune and fall for big wins during the Love and Luck promotion at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. to midnight for prize drawings that grow bigger each hour. Then, don't miss the grand prize event on Saturday, March 29th, where 10 lucky winners will take home prizes ranging from $500 to $5,000. Let Love and Luck bring you big wins and even bigger thrills. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Talking car stuff with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. We've talked about remote starts and how they can make your winter life better. But I know that's not the only thing you guys can offer to help brave the cold.
For sure. Remote starts are one of the things that top that list, and we can install an Arctic Start remote start system from just $299.
Nothing better than getting into a warm running car to keep you toasty, right?
Exactly. We also have year-round winter tires by Toyo with a 60,000-mile tread warranty that we absolutely love. They are perfect for where we live, and now save $40 on a set of 4, plus save 10% on our Duralast Pro Power Ultra batteries, the only battery with roadside assistance and a 5-year warranty.
Sounds like Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail is the place to winterize your rig.
Stop in or give us a call, and we'll go over all the remote start, tire, and battery options available, and we'll do it with the best prices in the area.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, folks. See anytime.com or at the corner of Highway 79 in East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. Super Monday after the Super Bowl. You made it back through the workday and you're in the drive home. Thanks for being a part of the program. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live. Fox Sports Radio. Appreciate you. The Nate Brown Show is on. Also streaming right now on X. Follow us at Nate Brown Show. Vote in the question of the day. All the good stuff. Interact with us on X at Nate Brown Show and watch the show live there. Second hour, Brian Nose coming up. Fox Sports Radio national host, one of our best guests all season long. Host of Countdown to Kickoff every Sunday on Fox Sports Radio. Brian Noe, his take on last night. And I want a couple of hitters for 2025 here. Aaron Rodgers news and everything in between. David LeVake's coming up from the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, our guest later this hour, high school sports writer for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. And a big discussion I want to have with David about something that Minnesota's been trying, and would that ever roll here in South Dakota? That's actually where I want to start in this second hour. First, let's go to the question of the day. I was talking about my takeaways from last night. I had 5 takeaways from the Super Bowl, not hot takes. Be careful. 5 takeaways from last night. I started the show with it. I'm not going to go through all 5 again. You can go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. One of which, I believe Tom Brady is not one of the best color guys. I believe I've watched games all this season. Tom Brady, to me, didn't get better. The analysis in-game didn't get better. It's mainly stories about what he did, what he faced, his teammates, Belichick, the situation with him. That's a lot of what we heard last night again. So I believe Tom Brady's not big-time, prime-time color man. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, great. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, great. I think those teams are much more elite. That's one of my takeaways. We got text on the Tom Brady thing last night. So that's me from a broadcast standpoint. What do you say as a football fan? Listener text, Nate, I agree with you on Tom. During the Super Bowl, while Mahomes was struggling, Tom said, I'm Mahomes' biggest fan. I don't like to see him struggle. That's some BS, Nate. Tom Brady, the quarterback, had a good night last night. But not as a broadcaster. Let's see. Lister text. Correct. Tom Brady is not doing game analysis. Tom Brady's not doing game analysis. Hang on, though. We got one here. Sirianni outcoached the Chiefs. Hope they keep Brady in the booth. The only one better is Troy Aikman. I respectfully disagree. But people have their own takes. Some people like Tom. I think Fox has hyped up Tom like crazy. I mean, just hyped him up. I haven't seen him get better. It's only his first year. I haven't seen him get better. There's not a ton of game analysis. And remember, he's barred from really getting inside with all of these teams because of his minority ownership with the Raiders. So he can't do all the insight and talk to the coaches and the players and go to practices and all that stuff. He can't do that. I think that impacts the preparation from the broadcast side of the game plan, what teams are thinking, things like that. A lot of stories about what he's done in his career. Those are interesting, but they're not tying into the game at hand. in my read. Okay, there was a commercial last night, and I know people complain about everything with the Super Bowl, from the commercials to the halftime show to whatever, but this commercial got some people fired up, and then to me, it was more like, I wonder if this is a thing. And it was the girls' high school flag football thing. So I love high school sports. You know that, and we covered a lot on this program. What should South Dakota look at when it comes to girls' flag football? Should we look at it or even be open to it? Because here's a couple of states that have actually implemented a pilot program. They send it out to the schools. They're like, hey, if you want to do this, let's put it together, organize it. Montana, it started with 4 teams, went up to 17 the next year, and now even more this year. So this is Montana. Okay, so it's not like it's huge cities or things like this, massive schools. Similar geography, demographics to South Dakota, similar. So Montana has a pilot program. They've been doing girls' high school flag football now for a couple of years, for a few years. This was the 3rd year, I think, this year. And they say it's growing in popularity. And girls that are playing high school flag football are also multi-sport athletes. And the reason I throw this out here, I have a high school girl. She's an athlete, and she's a football fan, watching the Super Bowl together, stuff like that. So I appreciate these times. She said, I think I would actually play that. And I was like, well, you played soccer and stuff like this. Yeah, I think I would actually play that. High school flag football, if they had it. So you could just take me as one example. How many more high school girls are out there with football as the king of all sports, meaning it's in our face? The NFL's the number one brand. Millions and millions of people watching it all year. And girls' high school flag football now in 15 states sanctioned, and they're trying to get it in all 50. But I'm not talking about sanctioning it right now. I'm saying, should South Dakota be open to looking at a pilot program? Because if you were to tell me girls' high school wrestling would take off like it has, I wouldn't have believed you. I'm not in the wrestling world. I haven't been a wrestler. I'm not in that world. I know how popular it is, West River, and some great organizations and programs that we've had in high school. But I did not understand that girls' high school wrestling would go as it has. There's more girls' high school wrestlers like every year. I've been talking to people in the schools. It's very popular. So football as a more popular sport in general, would it become popular if you had girls' high school flag football? Montana's doing it. They just had the state playoffs this past fall in September, and Minnesota's currently doing it. So I'm going to talk to David LeVake out of the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. He covers high school sports, and he's been on this girls' high school flag football story. I want to see, is it popular? Is it just kind of, well, I don't know if this is going to get sanctioned or not. So Montana pilot program, Minnesota pilot program. Should South Dakota be open to that? My second question of the day on this Monday, 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067 of the Barron's Wilson text line. I'd like to hear from you. You think South Dakota should be open to looking at a pilot program for girls' high school flag football in the future? Yes, let's take a look, gauge some interest here if you got it. You don't have to go through all the, hoops and everything to sanction it right away. Should you offer it up and see if schools want to do that? Sioux Falls to Rapid City and in between. Pilot program for girls' high school flag football. States are doing it. Some have sanctioned it. I don't know if you'd get there in the near term, right? We don't sanction sports very easily. Like baseball's still out there. That's a popular sport, not sanctioned. But should you take a look at a pilot program? What do you say? Yes, gauge the interest, or no, there will never be enough demand. No, there will never be enough demand. My question of the day, let's take a look. 605-720-1067, Barron's Wilson text line. 57% voting for yes, South Dakota should be open to it. Very interesting. I wasn't sure how that was going to go. A lot of votes coming in on our Twitter poll, at Nate Brown Show. 57% yes, South Dakota should be open to it. Gauge the interest for high school girls flag football. 43% say no, there will never be enough demand. Listener text coming in, yes, I'd take a look at it. What is that, a high school girl herself? I'd take a look at it? Maybe. Listener text, no, I really don't think you'd have very many towns do it. Okay. Well, it might be a bigger town thing. I'm talking like AA schools, probably, right? You got to have enough kids. So I think AA schools more than likely. But I think you got enough from Aberdeen to Pierre to... I just wonder how many girls would do this. It'd be interesting. I never thought it'd be a thing. I was like, is this a thing? That's one of the first things my daughter said. She loves going to games, loves watching football. Man, I would have played that. She's going to kind of be aged out by the time this would be coming up. But she goes, I would play that. She would have really enjoyed that. Listener text, yes, take a look at it. Another one, you go, girls, let's do it. Let's see, listener text, there might be some trouble splitting funding, but I think opportunity and interest would be more than sufficient. Very interesting. All right, 57% say take a look at a pilot program, girls high school flag football. That would be interesting. Man, that would be something. 43% of you say, no, I would not see enough demand. Well, we'll see if it ever goes. We'll see. I think it's something worth talking about. I think it's worth talking about, not just a fly-by-the-seat thing. Listener text, if the object of high school sports is to get kids active, then you should let the possibility of girls play the sport. All right. A lot of proponents of it. Like to hear that. Don't know if it'll go anywhere, but Montana's doing it right now. They've done it the last couple of years. Minnesota's doing it. So it's not like it's just a wish here. But would South Dakota ever take a look at it? We shall see. We'll talk to David LeVake coming up from Minneapolis Star-Tribune. He's been on this story. See how it's really going in Minnesota and the hurdles there. First, Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio, host of Countdown to Kickoff all season long. What does he say about the Chiefs and next year on the way?
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Want to improve your putting? Master your chip shots? Golf Greens by Foreverlawn is the ultimate synthetic turf to improve your short game. For the committed golfer to the recreational player, we create custom golf greens to make your home or business the premier practice and entertainment destination. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Foreverlawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you shave strokes off your golf game. Foreverlawn in South Dakota.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner. And I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs. And Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance of snow tonight, otherwise overcast. Lows level off around 7 below. Winds out of the northeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Highs level off around 8 above. Tomorrow, chance for snow. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow night, lows around 7 below. A dusting of snow tonight through tomorrow. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 4 above.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
It is the Nate Brown Show, your sports, your show, South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, live on Fox Sports Radio. Stream us all the time on YouTube. If you wanted to watch the show, we're live. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. You want to watch the show live and archive shows, they are there. Also, the Nate Brown Show podcast available. We had Jerry Brewer on live from the Super Bowl. Great analysis from national writer for the Washington Post. He's covered a lot of the big games over the years. John Stiegelmeier joined us, former South Dakota State head coach, and talked about Dallas Goedert, his player, Britton Hekla, high school star, now Super Bowl champion, South Dakota's own. John Stiegelmeier, his reaction to his South Dakota State tight end winning the Super Bowl last night with the Eagles. The Nate Brown Show podcast, always available. Just search The Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcasts, on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, wherever you're at. Search The Nate Brown Show. Brian Noah's on tonight. You know we had to do this one more time. Then I might give him a little break. He's been on all season long on Fox Sports Radio, your host of Countdown to Kickoff every football weekend. It's Brian Noah on the Nate Brown Show. How are you?
Nate, always good to be with you. I don't want to break. I'm raring to go here. It doesn't have to end with football. You want to talk hoops? You want to talk baseball? Don't lose my number. I'm always up for a little Nate Brown Show action.
Okay, I know we have a good time. I'll give you a little breather. I want to get your reaction, though, to last night. There's a lot of things to siphon through here, but I was waiting for the Chiefs to get going. I was waiting. What were you thinking as the Eagles go up 24-0? I was still in that mode of, I don't know. I think the Chiefs might come back here. Where were you at about halftime?
It was. I would love to know when it finally set into my brain where it's like, nah, they're really done. Really done. It's almost like, remember the movie Training Day when you're watching Denzel? And you're like, he still might not be a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, it took a while for you to be like, okay, I get it. He's clearly a bad guy. That's how I felt with the Chiefs last night because, I'll be honest with you, Nate, and I feel stupid for saying this, even after the pick six, which was a horrible decision by Mahomes, and the Chiefs were down 17-0, I'm like, wow, isn't it a coincidence that Tom Brady is doing this game? And Tom Brady threw a pick six against the Falcons and then had that epic 28-3 comeback win. So even right after the pick six, I'm like, they're not dead yet. I feel stupid for even thinking that now. But it was really right before halftime where it was another interception, another Eagles touchdown, And then when DeAndre Hopkins was wide open, no one's around him.
Yeah.
And Mahomes, it was a bad throw. It was catchable, but then Hopkins is tripping and falling. It was just a calamity on both ends. That's where I'm like, it's not in the cards at all. But it was a little like Denzel in Training Day, where it took me a little bit too long to catch on. Oh, Denzel's a bad guy, and the Chiefs are more than cooked in this game.
Yeah, it was something else. 40-6 was my score. I mean, I'm like, I know they scored a couple of late, so it looks interesting, but it wasn't at all. Because people were saying, this was like the Tampa Bay game. No, it wasn't. This was over. This was like Washington-Denver back in the day, 49ers-Denver back in the day. It was over. So was this Philly team that elite, both sides of the line, both sides of the ball, or is there something missing with the Chiefs? Jerry Brewer was on from the Super Bowl. He said, Chiefs are so prepared, so good this year, such a good organization. A game like that last night told him they're on the downturn. There's something wrong. What do you say?
Well, they need to address the O-line. That's the main part, where their O-line just didn't hold up at all against what Philly was bringing. And look, man, it's football, right? It's one game, where it reminds me a bit of, go back to Super Bowl 42 with the undefeated Patriots, and that Giants D-line dominated them, right? But that's an undefeated Patriots team who crushed teams throughout that regular season. They were as good as you can be, like a historically great offense, really good defense, all of that. And they just had no answers in that particular game. That didn't mean that they were cooked or anything like that. I think with the Chiefs, they got dominated by Philly's D-line. I think going forward, they have to address their offensive line. They slid Joe Thuney out from guard to left tackle. I'm surprised he played as well as he did for a number of games. There are a lot of teams, they can't slide a guard out to tackle and be anywhere better off, but the Chiefs were. They just have to upgrade their offensive line. Travis Kelce is definitely long in the tooth. He might have one more year left in him. That's about it. So they're going to have to upgrade around Mahomes, but I don't want to walk away from that game saying, oh, man, the Chiefs have problems left and right. Their nucleus is still really good. It was just a first half from hell. That's really what it was. They had 14 yards in the first half, and a lot of people make it out where it's just Philly's pressure. I can't absolve all blame from Mahomes. The pick six, he had no pressure whatsoever. There were a couple of throws to Travis Kelce, who's wide open. One of them, it was 3rd and 3. He's open. Just throw him the ball. The ball was at his feet.
Yeah.
Like, that's not Mahomes at all. Mahomes was just drunk in the first half. I was joking around, the commercial with Tom Brady where he, falls asleep and they had to replace the batteries in his arm. That's like what happened with Mahomes, especially in that first half. He had some off-brand batteries in his right arm right there. He was awful. So if you think Mahomes is going to be a big problem going forward, you don't know what you're watching. He was just that bad last night, and Philly was that good. I'm not trying to take credit away from them, but I don't want to overreact and be like, oh, man, the Chiefs have major problems. They're on the downturn. I don't think they're going anywhere with Mahomes being there.
Okay, that's interesting you say that, because I actually say these guys have been really, really good. They were at the pinnacle. And when I say they are going somewhere, that means anything less than an AFC championship means they're the Texans. Well, this is the Chiefs. So that's what I mean. I think they're closer to the Texans than they are back to another AFC title game.
I would disagree with you, Nate. I really would, because, the Chiefs have been there 7 straight years, and they didn't have Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice, that was crazy. The 3 healthy games he played, he's on track for over 100 catches, 1,600 yards, double-digit touchdowns, and he goes down against the Chargers, and the Chiefs are still in the Super Bowl, So I just don't see them going away. I don't see them as like a middle-of-the-pack AFC team. I still think they're one of the teams with the best odds. They actually are tied with the Ravens and I can't remember the other team with the shortest odds to win the Super Bowl again. So I thought that was an awful performance all the way around from the Chiefs last night. But that happens. You know, the last time we saw a performance like that from the Chiefs was against Tampa. And they didn't have their 2 offensive tackles, and they got dominated in that game. Mahomes, by the way, was worlds better in that game, even when he was running for his life. That's why I don't absolve blame last night. But the point is, the Chiefs got dominated against Tampa. And then the next thing you know, they're winning 2 of the next 3 Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like, so as long as 15 is there, they are a problem for the AFC and the rest of the NFL.
Okay, you heard it here first on the Nate Brown Show. Brian, no, please give me credit next year on Countdown to Kickoff. The Chiefs will not be in the AFC Championship, okay? They will not be there next year. Maybe divisional. You know, they'll be the Texans. I told you. All right.
Okay.
That's where we're standing. By the way, speaking of next year, so Aaron Rodgers not going to the Jets. Was that the right call for the Jets to say, we got to do something else? What do you say?
Yeah, I can see it being that way. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's not nearly as good as he once was, and you still have to put up with all the drama. My favorite part, Nate, was Aaron Rodgers. He's like, well, it depends if they want me back, and I'm still going to have to take some time to figure out if I want to be back. He's still high maintenance, even though he's not nearly as good as he once was. You know, I just love that part of it. So I get it where the Jets are like, he's not absolutely a long-term solution. He's not even a short-term solution. So what are we doing here? Let's pivot and go in a different direction to try to find some stability going forward. They might not. They might not find someone who's even as good as Aaron Rodgers at this stage. But I give them credit for at least trying because the handwriting's on the wall. They're not going anywhere of note next season. So why stick with something that isn't working? So we'll see what they come up with, if they can draft a quarterback or get someone younger in there. But I don't have a problem with it. You know, maybe the Raiders say, hey, let's get a Band-Aid for one season and be better than what we were. Okay, but you're still not going anywhere of great significance, and that's just the reality of where we are at this stage of Aaron Rodgers' career. He's not a difference maker.
See, if I'm the Raiders, I'm actually looking at this. I'm like, why not? Pete Carroll's coming in, trying to win right now. So older coach, older QB, let's get this thing righted. I'm going with Rodgers if I'm the Raiders.
Yeah, they probably don't have a better option. It's just funny how that works, isn't it, Nate, where the Jets have all these huge expectations of, hey, we got Aaron Rodgers with the real defense. We could be something. And then it doesn't work out, and they're like, yeah, no, let's not go down that road again. Meanwhile, the Raiders, it's been so bad for them as well. And they're like, better than Aiden O'Connell? You know, Gardner Minshew, sign us up for Aaron Rodgers. It's just funny how it differs from team to team. But whether it's the Jets or the Raiders, neither of those teams are going anywhere with Aaron Rodgers, especially the Raiders. What are the Raiders going to do with the Chiefs and the Chargers and your Broncos being better? They're going nowhere with Rodgers. They would just be more interesting. They'd sell some tickets, and they'd have a Band-Aid for a season. It wouldn't be anything more than that.
Another hot take on the Nate Brown Show is the Raiders will beat the Chiefs once next year. Oh, my gosh.
They could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm rolling with this tonight.
Was it 2 years ago on Christmas Day they beat them when Nate, they didn't complete a pass after the first quarter.
Yes.
And the Raiders still won the game. They should have won this past season at Arrowhead, but they botched the shotgun snap. So, yeah, in the AFC West, in divisional play, man, crazy things happen all the time. There's no doubt.
Last one for you to give a hot take, Brian. No, a hot take from you now. Was the Fox score bug as big of a deal as everybody made it out to be?
Nate, that was horrible. Who made that decision?
Come on.
What the hell? Who came up with that? If they still have a job, I don't know what Fox is doing. Are you kidding me? I felt like I was watching 1980s NBA basketball, you know, where they didn't have the score bug there the whole time. just when anybody scored, they would flash the score and then take it off. But it was so old and outdated last night. That was freaking terrible. Are you a fan of that? That was hideous.
Yeah, you know why? You know why I was a fan of it? Because I have bad eyes. I want to see the score. Put it up there, okay? I want. This is boomer friendly and bad eyes friendly for old guys like me yelling at the clouds. So give me the score. I don't care how big you have to make it. All right, buddy.
I love that. Yeah, that's great, man. Anybody, maybe that's the market they were trying to appeal to. Anybody with bad eyes, they're going to love this. Anyone with good eyes, we're cooked, man. This is a terrible idea. But these bad eyesight folks, they're going to love us for this one.
Yeah, see, they gave the old crowd the score bug. They gave the new crowd Kendrick Lamar. It worked out perfectly. See how that works? Brian Note tonight. Always great, man. Love talking to you. We'll talk to you soon. I appreciate you coming on all season.
Absolutely, Nate. Always fun with you, man. And, gosh, if the Texans have an equal or better record than the Chiefs, I will not forget this show, my friend. I will not forget it.
All right, thanks, man. I didn't say quite the same record. I just said they're going to be the Texans, meaning get to the playoffs and get beat. That's all. All right. Brian Noah tonight. I just want to make it official. They're going to become more like the Texans than the dominant Patriots, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All right. Let's go to David LeVake, high school sports writer from the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. How is girls' high school flag football actually going in the neighboring state of Minnesota? Popular? Not as popular as they thought? The pilot program is going. Would South Dakota ever look at this? We'll talk to David LeVake from the Star-Tribune next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Anderson, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today. And please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Anderson.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely, and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger?
Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold I-CAR certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is live. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show across the state. Thanks for listening here. Also stream us anywhere on your phone on X right now at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show and watch us live weekday afternoons at Nate Brown Show. Well, I appreciate this guy coming on. We've got him, high school sports reporter for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. I thought this commercial last night was informational. Some people, reacted to it like, oh, this is what? What's going on? Yeah, that's the world we live in, but it's the girls' high school flag football commercial where the NFL's been really making an effort to have flag football in all 50 states, girls' high school flag football. And it's going in 15, I think sanctioned in 15. Other states have added it, like pilot programs, including Montana next door and Minnesota next door. So David LeVake's on tonight. We've had him on the show before, high school sports writer. I wanted to get his read on what's the scene like. It is just a pilot program of Minnesota girls high school flag football, but wanted to see what's the popularity like. It was interesting last night, that commercial, and my daughter right away said, I would play that. She's a high schooler right now, so she'll miss out on it if South Dakota ever adds it, but she said, I would absolutely play this. David, welcome back on. I appreciate it. How are you?
Thank you, Nate. I'm doing well.
Thanks for coming on. So you tell me, how popular in general, I guess, is this high school girls flag football in the state of Minnesota?
So I went back to an article I wrote four summers ago, and at the time it was catching on in a particular part of the metro, a place called Rosemount, which is about an hour south of the Twin Cities, and they were attracting a lot of people from the surrounding suburbs, and the Rosemount girls were really strong across the board in athletics. So I think you had the merger of the match of the athletes who were going to make a difference with the sport that encouraged them to go out and show their athleticism. So it definitely caught on.
That's interesting that, as you say, okay, girls are looking at this. Here's one thought I had. Football is king in our sports world. Like it's the biggest brand. The NFL's the biggest brand in sports. So why wouldn't girls be naturally interested in it? Are you surprised at all about, hey, actually states are actually having sanctioned high school flag football?
No, I think it's great. I think if you look at the quotes that I got 4 summers ago, that was all about the girls can do this, and it's good to learn to be tougher, and kind of all the things that society asks for. So the girls are very receptive to it, and they're receptive to having it put on in a system where they're encouraged to participate, and you keep score, but it's mostly fun.
Okay, so do you think this pilot program in Minnesota, would you call it a success? Kind of You say it's kind of a metro thing. Do you think other communities are going to? Is this going to keep growing?
I think it should. I think it should. It's funny because we have boys volleyball, and I had the same reaction to that. I was like, "Well, who's left to play boys volleyball?"
Okay.
So we found out we had a lot of people left to play girls flag football. So, these girls, they can use it as a ways to train for other sports. You can learn to learn a different skill set and where it can take you. So.
How do you think parents and maybe some of these folks that are thinking about doing this, you think parents overall are like really receptive to the idea of like eventually sanctioning it, actually Minnesota high school league sport?
I wouldn't be surprised. It's a great activity for the girls that participate to be in. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they got behind sanctioning the sport.
I want to ask David LeVake tonight. He's been looking at this years ago, and they've started it in Minnesota, a pilot program, girls high school flag football. And I'm wondering, would a state like South Dakota would we be able to do this, David? I mean, we don't have huge metros, but Sioux Falls, Rapid City, some bigger towns. Would this be popular in small towns?
Yeah, I think it would. I think you got South Dakota produced the great Viking Chad Greenway. So
yes,
if you can come out of that, if you can come out of that small town, there's room to expand and to grow the sport. So I would encourage the girls to, all those that are listening, I would encourage them to give it a shot.
David LeVake, high school sports writer for the Star Tribune, StarTribune.com, here on the Nate Brown Show. One more. I look at this and I say, I didn't think girls high school wrestling would take off in South Dakota, and we sanctioned it, and it's been popular. It's grown. I mean, we got big numbers. High school wrestling. So I think 50 states, that's the NFL's goal, 50 states to have girls high school flag football. Will we see it?
Yeah, I think you will. I think you got the numbers. You got the girls that are interested, and they're going to get great coaching, and I think all that is going to appeal to them, and I think it will take off if it's marketed right.
We'll see where it's at. The NFL's behind it, so that's a big thing, no doubt. Funding it. I know they're funding some programs in Montana, so that's a big deal as well. How are the Vikings involved in this? Are they behind it?
I was going to say that 4 years ago, the Vikings they expressed a lot of interest, and they wanted to send different equipment to elementary schools with the idea that they can make part of the curriculum for physical education.
Okay,
this could be flag football. So.
Yeah, that's a big deal if the Vikings get behind it in each market across the country, each pro team. David LeVake tonight. Read his stuff. Covers Minnesota high school sports, StarTribune.com. David, thanks for the time tonight. Appreciate you hopping on.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, appreciate that. David LeVake tonight, preps writer for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. He started writing about girls high school flag football in Minnesota a few years ago. The pilot program continues. My question is, will they sanction it in the Minnesota High School State League there? Will they say that that's the next step? Will Montana move forward with it? Teams have grown in Montana. Similar type of state to South Dakota, you would say. Towns few and far between, big geography, there's travel there. So my thought is this. It doesn't hurt to look at a program. It's a club sport. We've had numerous club sports. So my deal is this. If there's passion for people that want to be coaches, players want to do it, schools can get, behind it a little bit. Why not look at it? You don't have to have a massive, paperwork and jump through the hoops of sanctioning it right away. I'm not talking about sanctioning high school girls flag football. I'm just talking, should they look at starting something like this in South Dakota? Very interesting. Like, would it be more popular than like lacrosse? How about that? Like, we got lacrosse clubs that girls are playing in. You got hockey. I mean, some of these sports that more girls have started playing. Is football the next one? Flag football. I don't know. We'll see where that goes. Listener text coming in. I changed your mind on flag football. You didn't think it was going to be popular, and I converted you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Who's hot and who's not? We wrap up the show. Some big headlines next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
From gooey grilled cheese sandwiches on Dakota-style 12-grain to peanut butter and jelly on Kids' Choice soft white bread. Kids of all ages want simple, comforting food that remind them of mom's home cooking. Country Hearth was born from that nostalgia and commitment to simplicity. Baked locally using natural ingredients like whole grains and honey, our breads are delivered fresh daily to grocery stores throughout the Midwest. Country Hearth Breads, baking our best for you.
I started doing it once in a while, just for fun in the car with my friends. And yeah, I knew it was deadly and even illegal, but I didn't care. I remember looking down, and she was crossing the street, and I saw her just before I killed her.
Addiction has many faces. Texting and driving when you know it's life-threatening and illegal can be one of them. Take back control. Put the phone down.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
And 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, 50, want to get 250 here, 75, 275, now 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance of snow tonight, otherwise overcast. Lows level off around 7 below. Winds out of the northeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Highs level off around 8 above. Tomorrow, chance for snow. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow night, lows around 7 below. A dusting of snow tonight through tomorrow. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 4 above.
The wait is over. We're clearing out our 2024 models at Spearfish GMC Cadillac. We've discounted all of our remaining 2024 models, but don't wait because stock is limited. New 2024 Sierra 1500 up to $9,300 off. 24 GMC Yukon as low as $71,927. Remaining 24 Sierra HDs up to $6,000 off. And 24 Cadillac Lyric EV up to $10,000 off. Spearfish GMC Cadillac, online always at spearfishmotors.com.
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, let's wrap this up on a fun Monday night. The Nate Brown Show, Who's Hot and Who's Not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, also in Brandon, and 2 locations in Rapid City. The Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Who's hot and who's not? In my Who's Hot, how about the Sioux Falls Stampede setting a record over the weekend for the biggest crowd ever for a hockey game in South Dakota? Over 11,000 fans, a sellout at the Denny. Wiener Dog Night, nothing like it, so special. Wiener Dog Night, the biggest crowd ever for a hockey game in South Dakota. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, NFL Insider is reporting the Super Bowl may be in London in 5 to 7 years. Say it ain't so. Stop arguing about the Super Bowl halftime show and start arguing about this report that the NFL may move the Super Bowl, because they're talking about, well, Jacksonville, what if they move? What if they move over to London? So this is an NFL Insider. Take it for what it's worth, that eventually 5 to 7 years you could see a Super Bowl in London. What would we all think of that? That's in my Who's Not tonight, big time. In my Who's Not, big time. If you put a team over there, I guess that would be the reward, is what this NFL report is saying. That's what this NFL report is saying. By the way, in my Who's Not as well, one more. Leave you with this. I don't know which way you're going to go on this. Alex Rodriguez got a case ruling in his favor to continue ownership pursuit of the Minnesota Timberwolves. A-Rod still might be the owner of your Minnesota Timberwolves. Thanks for listening. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now.
Look at all the pictures of the resort you'd stay in every year. All you need